the scariest rugby players of all time.
Rugby is a physical sport. I mean, there's tackling, there's scrumming, there's rucking. It's a physical sport, which can be intimidating at times. However, there's some guys that enter the game that just make rugby so much more intimidating for their opponents. Now, I'm only speaking about size and physicality. If we were speaking about skill, Ches and Colby 100% would be the scariest player. I mean, I just get nightmares thinking about being in a one-on-one with him. Before we get into the list, I quickly want to mention the sponsors of this video, World of Rugby. Guys, if you are South African, this is the place to get rugby merchandise. They have an amazing variety, all sorts of merch. You need to visit their website right now, worldofrugby.co.za, and visit their Instagram page as well. Number 1 on the list, SCHALK Burger. This guy is easily one of the most physical players who has ever played rugby. The legend goes that he used to tackle sheep as a kid for practice. I mean, anyone who does that for fun has to be flippin' tough and pretty crazy in the head as well. Next up is SEBASTIEN CHABAL. He's basically the SCHALK Burger of French rugby, just much more majestic looking. His looks remind me of both a caveman and a prince at the same time. I mean, just look at that hair. Beautiful. Apart from his iconic beard and ponytail, SEBASTIEN CHABAL could play some rugby. He was tough and the enforcer of French rugby. Let's talk about Jerry Collins, the former All Blacks number 8, who is regarded as one of the hardest tacklers of all time. He wouldn't just tackle you, he would flatten you. His opponents are still recovering from the bruises. Just at times like this, I'm happy I did not become a pro rugby player. In the early 2000s, England were blessed in the front row with the giant monster known as Andrew Sheridan. He weighed 128 kilograms and was nearly 2 meters tall. He was known and feared for the way he would tear scrums apart with his freakish strength. I seriously need to stop with these 32-12 jokes before it's too late. This next player was known as the chiropractor and is a member of the IRB Hall of Fame. LIMA was one of the toughest tacklers around. He wasn't huge. He wasn't that big compared to a lot of the guys on this list, but this guy was a hard tackler, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about another Samoan, ALESANA TUILAGI. He was a winger, but he was 124 kilograms. That's pretty much the same weight as Andrew Sheridan, the England prop I was speaking about earlier. And he's a winger. Imagine a guy that size running at you on the wing, bro. Next on the list is the legendary BAKKIES BOTHA. I would say that this guy is the most feared lock of all time. He was extremely physical. He was strong. He was huge. And not only that, but he was freaking dirty. BAKKIES BOTHA was well known for his eye gouging, his punching, his pushing, just causing a whole lot of nonsense, to be fair. Now to me, this just makes him way scarier because often he got away with it. You know, it's one thing having to tackle and ruck against this monster, but he wants to make you scared, you know? He did great things for South African rugby and I feel sorry for anyone who had to go up against him. Nowadays, BAKKIES just looks like an overprotective dad who would smack anyone who tried dating his daughter. I don't know which is scarier, the old BAKKIES or the new BAKKIES. JONAH LOMU. I saved the best for last. JONAH LOMU is probably the most well-known rugby player of all time. One of the biggest reasons he's so well-known is because of how huge, physical, and scary he was on the field. When I see the clips of some of his runs, I can feel those collisions. Who did I miss? There's probably quite a few players that are very scary who could have been on this list, but of course there's not space for everyone, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.